Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today with my October TBR. I'm really excited about the books that I picked out for this TBR. I mean, I feel like it's the one that I look forward to the most every single year. I save the thrillers and the horror books that I think are going to spook me the most for this time of the year, or that I'm going to enjoy the most. It's always a fun one to do. Oh, you settled? I have a little spooky black cat in my lap. But before we jump into that, I do want to say a big thank you to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video, and I've actually partnered with them today to talk about the 12th installment in their A Twisted Tale series, and this one is What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell. It's already out, and it's actually about Rapunzel, Tangled, and it's asking the question, what if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? If you're familiar with Tangled, which it's one of my favorite Disney movies, it all is following Rapunzel, who has magic hair that glows when she sings, all because her mother drank a potion from a flower that bloomed from a drop of the sun falling to the earth. And in this one, when her mother falls ill while she's pregnant with Rapunzel, the villagers all go out to find a flower, and instead of finding this sundrop flower that they were looking for, they actually find a moondrop flower. And this moondrop flower still heals the mother, and she gives birth to a beautiful baby girl, but instead of golden hair, it's silver/gray hair. And instead of healing when she sings, it actually hurts. She's actually locked up in a tower for the protection of her people, and she's actually put under the care of the powerful good wife, Mother Gothel. She's very okay with this imprisonment, but she's still very curious about the lanterns that get released every single year on her birthday, and she's still desperate to see them for herself in person. And she eventually escapes on her 18th birthday and runs into a would-be outlaw named Gina and Flynn Rider, who is a rogue on the run. And I'm really excited about this one, guys. I love Tangled. Like I said, I actually recently went to the Rise Lantern Festival, and it was like my perfect little Tangled moment inside my head. So this is coming at the perfect time. I'm really excited to see kind of the twist that they take on it, just kind of seeing why the moondrop flower is hurting versus healing. She finds out more about that on her journey. I really want to meet this Gina character. I already know I love Flynn Rider, so I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. Again, it is already out, so if you want to check it out, I will leave it linked down below. Thank you to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for giving me opportunities like this, honestly. So without further ado, we have 7 or 8 more books to talk about today. In no particular order, I'm going to start with The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I don't know. They're the author of The Silent Patient, I'm pretty sure. Yes. I've never read it. It's definitely on my list of things that I would want to read eventually because people love it. But this is the newest book that they've released, and it just looks really cool. I don't know much about it. I just know that it's a psychological suspense weaving together Greek mythology, murder, and obsession. And no, it's not because I'm just reading the tagline, I swear. Honestly, that's really all I need to know. Psychological thrillers are actually my favorite kinds of thrillers. I just find them the most entertaining and the most on the edge of your seat the entire time. They can also be the most frustrating, if you ask me. But, I mean, mixing together a psychological thriller with Greek mythology just sounds like a recipe for something I would love, and I don't really need to know much more than that. All the books that I talk about will also be linked down below, just in case you want more information on them, since I'm not giving huge summaries. I feel like thrillers especially are things that I want to know very little about before going into, so I haven't looked into a lot of these. That's on purpose. So if you want to look more into it, check the links in the description bar. Check them out. Next, we have a more fun, good-timey thriller, and that's going to be Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. And this one is following Lila, who has had to return to her hometown after a failed excursion of getting not only a degree but also having a fiance cheat on her, and she has to go back to her hometown to help her aunt run their family restaurant that makes really delicious Filipino cuisine. And she's kind of bummed about it, but she's also ready to actually explore her cooking abilities when at some point her ex-boyfriend, not the ex-fiance, dies in her restaurant after eating the food she served him. So her restaurant, her family, everything is automatically put under suspicion. They suspect that it has been a poisoning, and there seems to be evidence that's being planted inside of their restaurant to make it seem this way. And she's trying to figure out what the actual truth is and how to get her family released from these charges and actually be able to run the restaurant that is their livelihood and that was already on the edge. It seems like a good mix of cute but mystery, but rom-com and cuisine. There's recipes in the back of like some of the dishes that they talk about in this, and I'm so excited. I really want to make them with my boyfriend. He is Filipino, but his mom knows how to make adobo and lumpia and things like that, but he doesn't, so I don't know, maybe we'll learn something. Next, we have A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This is the Owl Crate edition, so that's why it looks different. This is a dark academia style novel that takes place in like a boarding school, a very regular boarding school, but that has a very occult history. And specifically, we're following a girl who still was going to the school after her girlfriend died the year before, and now there's a new girl that's her best friend and seems to be trying to bring out more of the occult within the school. And she doesn't really know how to say no, and she doesn't really want to say no. So I'm liking the dark academia vibes. Next, we have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, and this is actually more of like a domestic thriller with a couple who have been together for quite a long time, but they know that their marriage just hasn't been working lately, and it hasn't been working for a while. Adam is a workaholic who also deals with face blindness, meaning that he actually doesn't recognize the faces of anyone he meets, and his wife is kind of tired of feeling unseen overall. But when she wins a trip to Scotland, she thinks that this is going to be the thing that's going to cure their relationship, and it's going to be an anniversary that they'll never forget because one of them is lying. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm very intrigued by the aspect of face blindness in this. It's just, you can do so much with that, you know? Like it can be anything. She might not even have been the person he thought that he was going to marry. We don't know. I know that, okay, I'm holding up a lot of Book of the Month books, but that's because, as we all know, I'm on a book buying ban, and there's almost always a thriller or like horror style book in the Book of the Month boxes every month. So I have quite a few to get through, and they're ones that I've been really interested in, but it just worked out that way, okay? So 56 Days is the next one, and it's by Catherine Ryan Howard. This one, I don't remember the entire plot, but the things that I do remember, let me tell you, it's a couple who barely know each other. Like, they've been dating maybe a month before quarantine begins, and they decide that, yeah, why not? We're gonna quarantine together. And they may realize during this quarantining process that they did not know each other as well as they should have before committing to this, and now they are stuck together through this pandemic. And I'm very intrigued. It's actually like taking place in something that's so recently happened, which we haven't really, or I haven't really seen yet in any thrillers, and I feel like it can get spooky. It says a thriller right here, so prepare to be thrilled. Oh, whoa. Dang, see, this is why I don't read summaries. Okay, if you don't want any spoilers, like, ignore me while I have this book in front of me, but look at this last line, because it's talking about, like, the steps of them getting to live together, but then it says, today, detectives arrive at Oliver's apartment to discover a decomposing body inside. Can they determine what really happened, or has lockdown created an opportunity for someone to commit the perfect crime? I didn't know someone died. Oh wow, it even says it on the back. Okay, I'm clueless. It says no one even knew they were together. Now one of them is dead. Yeah, okay. Next up is Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapina, and this is also more of a domestic style thriller. These are really fun. I like domestic thrillers. It's just juicy. It gives you all of like the Law and Order feels that you kind of need out of it, and it's nothing crazy normally. Like it's pretty straightforward, but I enjoy them. This one is following what should be the perfect, ideal, very happy family. They live in a fancy mansion in the fanciest neighborhood on the fanciest side of town, and they live this life that you would assume is ideal. And every single Easter, Fred and Sheila have their 3 kids come over to the mansion for an Easter dinner where they get together and, you know, have their family bonding time. And this Easter, well, 2 days after Easter, Fred and Sheila's bodies are found in their house, and they've been murdered, with the only suspects being their 3 children, because all of them have some sort of beef with their family. And as the story unfolds, we will find out that maybe this perfect, ideal, super happy family was really, really not that happy at all. And, maybe one of the kids did it. It sounds like a good time, I'm just saying. I mean, murdering your parents, though, that's pretty cold. Chala, my leg's going numb. Second to last book is going to be Horrid by Katrina Leno. I'm still really excited about this. I was excited to read this last year when I first got it. I'm extra excited to still read it now. And I just want to read... Did I get it last year or was it this year? This year has felt eerily long. I'm not sure, but I have had it for a while, and I have wanted to read it the entire time. The things that I remember about the summary are that they're in a house, their mom, or basically this girl and her mom have to move back to the mom's hometown, where the mom has to take care of her old house for a time, and this house is just spooky. It feels like the walls kind of shift places. If I remember that correctly, I could be totally wrong. Oh. No, I was wrong. I was mixing this up with something else. So basically, after her father's death, her and her mother move away from sunny California up to Maine, where her mom had grown up in this old rundown house, and they're ready to have a fresh start, ready to kind of move forward with their lives. She's ready to try and make friends, even though all these people kind of think that she's a bad seed, and she's trying to stomp down her worst nature, and she's noticing that her mom has just been more and more shut down ever since moving back into her childhood home. And eventually she finds out that the storage room, or the room that her mom had said was only for storage, wasn't a storage room at all, but was a little girl's room that appears to have been untouched the entire time that her mom had been away. So it also might not be quite as empty of inhabitants as it appears. Kind of like maybe paranormal, maybe psychological thriller style book. I personally prefer when books end up falling on the side of paranormal versus erring on the side of psychological thriller. I just think it's really unsatisfying when it's all kind of downplayed into psychological thriller, but that's maybe just me. We'll see how this one goes. Now for another one that could honestly go either way, but I feel like is going to be more of a paranormal style book, and I'm the most excited for this one out of all of the books in this TBR, Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I've never read a Riley Sager book, but this one gives me Hill House vibes. We'll just read the first little part. It says, bells that ring themselves, record players that turn on and play music to empty rooms, ghosts that climb out of wardrobes. Maggie Holt doesn't believe in these things, even though they are the details of the story that made her family famous. 25 years ago, she and her parents, Ewan and Jess, moved into Bainbury Hall, a rambling Victorian estate in the Vermont woods. They spent 20 days there before fleeing in the dead of night, an ordeal Ewan later recounted in a horror memoir, House of Horrors. His tale of ghostly happenings and encounters with malevolent spirits became a worldwide phenomenon, rivaling the Amityville horror in popularity and skepticism. And now, with her father dead, she has ownership of this house, and she has to return to kind of pack everything up and see what she can sell and if she can sell the house in general, and she's gonna maybe discover if all of this was real or not, because she has no memories of fleeing that night. Doesn't that give you like Haunting of Hill House vibes? I need a redemption arc, because last year when I read Haunting of Hill House, I hated the book. It was not for me. It wasn't what I expected. Loved the show, did not like the book. Hopefully that gives me the vibes I want. But other than that, those are the main books that are on my TBR for the month. I might read more if I find more. I might find audiobooks to listen to that I don't own, but I'm trying not to. And other than that, let me know what books you're reading for October. I would love recommendations. Give me anything that you're just extra excited about. I'm open to it, you know? Just to give you like a brief idea of what I really love. My favorite all-time like spooky read that I've read is Into the Drowning Deep. Why did I just forget what it was called? Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Perfection. So other than that, my spooky black cat, who has made my left foot fall completely asleep, and I are going to say goodbye. Thank you again to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video. Again, guys, it is out now if you do want to read What Once Was Mine for yourself, and I'll leave it linked all down below, as well as all the other books that I talked about today. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye! Do you guys want to see, like, the cat? Do you want to say hi to the people, baby? Chala, baby. This knee hurts. This leg, it's asleep. Can I just... Oh. He's purring. It's dead. Ugh. I can't be mad at him. My leg. I know you didn't ask for forgiveness, but I do forgive you for making my leg fall asleep. I'm so sleepy. Like, I really could fall asleep right here. This is like the perfect stack of books. What if that was just the whole video? What if it was just like me cuddling my cat, falling asleep on books? I don't think I'd watch it. I don't think I'd edit it. Say goodbye.